I remember waking up early, going for runs, staying in the gym, generally putting in 100% work, trying as hard as I could to get abs, to get in good shape. But I'd look in the mirror and I'd still feel fat, feel chubby. And until I found out the diet, the foods that I actually needed to eat, I never saw progress. But when I had this diet, when I was eating the right foods, I got an amazing shape. I got absolutely shredded. I got compliments from guys, girls, everyone's just telling me I'm jacked, how good in shape I am. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you this diet that happened, what actually worked for me, and how I actually got in this good shape. It's about 7 o'clock at night. I'm topless. I'm walking downstairs in my pajamas. I'm going into the kitchen. I don't have a top on, and my mum and my brother, I remember them both just mocking me. They're both saying like, "Kit, we can see your belly. You're not in very good shape." They didn't say it in like a malicious way or a horrible way, but just in a way that I remember. Just they said it and it just hurt because I looked. There's like a mirror basically in my kitchen, and I could just see it, and I could just see my belly. I was like, yeah, wow, I'm really out of shape. I'm really not looking good. As I was a skinny guy, I was skinny insecure, but I tried to bulk up. I tried to get in good shape, but I ended up like just really heavy and really big. So I'm looking there in my mirror, and it's like I still have these same like insecurities, this like low self-esteem, not much self-respect for myself. I I'm always binging, I'm always eating food, I'm always like filling up my bin with just wrappers of from like Kit Kat, Tesco's meal deals, Belgian buns, Greggs, sausage rolls, all the time. So now I'm standing there in the mirror and the shame, the guilt has hit me, and it's the worst emotion ever. I just feel like I laugh inside, I feel awful. As at the time I tried diets, I tried like cutting out as much food as I was eating. I tried to like have less, a calorie deficit. I tried this, but I just kept failing. I kept messing up. I remember one day I was in my kitchen. It was like 7 a.m. top off, and I finished with the calories for the day. I was tracking them, and I didn't have any more to do. I was done. I was on about 2,500, but I was starving. I was sitting there. My plan was, okay, I'm a bit hungry, but hunger's all in my mind and whatnot. I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm gonna sleep. I won't feel hungry. I'll wake up tomorrow and I can eat again. So I'm sitting there, and it's like, okay, sounds like a good plan. I'm gonna do this plan. So I'm planning to go to bed, but before I even leave my kitchen, I end up eating cereal again. I end up grabbing my glass bowl, pouring some cereal in, and just munching on it. And the thing is, I don't like eat till I'm full. I don't, because I was so hungry, I don't just like eat till I'm satisfied, eat till I'm not hungry anymore. Instead, I get to the point where I'm satisfied, where, okay, I've ate enough food now. But I just carry on eating and just going and going for it. I don't cheat on my diet just because of hunger. I just cheat on it and cheat on it and cheat on it. And I just eat as much as I can now. It's like, I had the mentality of, I've already messed up, I've already failed. What's a little bit more gonna do? I may as well just carry on eating. I may as well just eat until I can't eat no more, just bulk again. So I'm eating and I'm stuffed at this point. I can't fit another mouthful in my mouth. And the shame and the guilt that I felt when I was looking in that mirror is back here again. It's like, how can I not stick to a diet? Why didn't I just go to bed hungry? Why didn't I just leave it and just not eat this much? Why didn't I just eat till I was satisfied? All these like thoughts flying around in my head, and it just felt awful at that moment. It just felt such a low point, such a depressing point. And this wasn't like once a month type of thing. This was once every few days I was doing this. I was committing to a diet. I'm gonna stick to this diet. I'm gonna not touch any bad food. I remember I was in my laptop, sitting and watching my laptop one day. I was like, I'm sticking to this diet. I'm doing this diet every day. I'm not gonna touch bad food. I'm not gonna eat McDonald's ever again. I come downstairs, within 30 minutes I've cheated on it. Like, I was looking in my kitchen, I was like, oh, I can't have ketchup, I can't have cookies, I can't have biscuits, I can't have all this stuff. And I just cheat, I give in to temptation so easily. And it was just this cycle, and it was every 1 or 2 days, I cheat on my diet again. And I wouldn't cheat with just one spoonful of cereal. I wouldn't cheat with just like satisfying my hunger. Instead, I'd stuff my face. I'd eat as much as I possibly could. I'd have the bowls of cereal, and I'd get the chocolate bars I really liked. I'd have those, and then I'd like look for other things that I was craving just to like plenish my hunger. So I had this thought of like, if I just eat all the bad food now, then I won't crave it a couple of days later. I won't still want it, just I've had it all now, and I won't crave it again. And I was really at a point like, I've just given up with diet. I just really, it annoyed me in a way because I couldn't do it, and it was such like as I was training hard, I was running, going gym, putting everything in, but I just couldn't stick to the diet, so I stayed in the same shape. I remember being at this low point and just being on my laptop trying to work out how I can do the diet, as I still wanted to get in good shape. I was still determined to do it, as I was going to the gym for maybe over a year at this time, and I was like, I just loved it. Like, I couldn't step away from it, so I was still determined. I was still persevering, trying to get back on it, trying to stick to a diet or trying to find something to do. And on my laptop one day, I discovered Eddie Abu. He was like just still growing at the time, and he was calling every food shit. He was standing in Aldi, and I remember he had these protein yogurts in his hand, and he was saying, "These are shit. These don't give you muscle. These give you fat. These have all sugar in it and stuff." I mean, he was doing it to bread, to pizza, to like anything and everything really, and it made me interested. It made a lot of people interested. It got me interested, as he was just very brutal, very polarizing with it. As he just said, "These are bad. These are good." And I started to listen to the advice slowly but surely. I started to hear about whole foods. I started to research it more. I watched lectures, and I started to understand about processed foods, whole foods, and the difference between them. Why the whole foods are working and why the processed foods aren't. I heard a term called seed oils, and I didn't know it at all. I just thought every oil was the same. I didn't deep stuff like that. And I found seed oils are in all the processed foods. They're all in like the pizza, the cookies, the muffins, like every food you can think of that's been made in a factory. It contains seed oils. And these seed oils, they basically put more fat on your body. They're not good for you. They used to be used in factories to oil machines, but now we're consuming them and we're putting them in our body, as they're cheap and they're easy to use. So people buy them, your mum may cook with them and whatnot, but it's not helping at all. And I found about all these processed foods, all these seed oils. And I remember, once I found out about this, I found out you should eat single ingredient foods, foods that don't have these seed oils in, that don't have like loads of different ingredients. If you look at McDonald's burger, it's got loads of ingredients in. And I'm like, okay, I've only got to eat one. So I'm sitting on my laptop. I was like, okay, I've got to find foods that only have 1 or 2 ingredients in, that just have like the meat. So I've run downstairs to my kitchen. I'm checking the cupboards again, and I'm looking at the back of everything. It's got rapeseed oil in, sunflower oil in, canola oil in. It's every food, crisps, peanut butter, bread. Don't think I found a food that day that didn't have it in. And I was like, wow, it's been so unknown. Had such ignorance to this was happening to me, but this was what was keeping me out of shape. It wasn't as much the diet. It wasn't restricting my calories. Instead, it was all these like bad foods I didn't know about, all these like hidden ingredients that I didn't know were ruining my body. And I started that journey. Like, I remember sitting in my cupboard, realizing I've got no foods to eat, and then I was like, no, I've got to eat whole foods. I've got to start cooking for myself, having my own foods. So I start having steak. I buy it raw, like, so I have to prepare it all. I have to season it all myself. Chicken, vegetables. I have to learn how to cook. I have to learn how to cook broccoli, how to just cook everything. I'm asking my mum, my dad, so they can teach me. Even scrambled egg, I didn't know how to cook that, so I'm having to learn. And when I'm learning, when I'm getting all this, I'm starting to only eat whole foods. I'm starting to only eat healthy foods. But the problem was, once I cut out all the processed foods and I was like, okay, I'm going to only eat healthy foods, I'm going to only eat good foods, I just kept relapsing. Like, I had such cravings to the junk food. It's all my life, I was raised on chicken nuggets and pizzas and stuff. So I couldn't step away from it. I couldn't not have those things. So to just cold turkey it and say, no, I'm not touching that at all, was a struggle. Like, it's like you had this like voice, this demon on your shoulder, inside your head, just telling you, you want this food, and you're craving it so badly. You're sitting there fantasizing about it, just staring at it, wanting it. So I couldn't just cut them out in total. Instead, how I started and how you can start is by starting simple, starting little, starting, if not too easy, just starting with the small wins. So I was there every morning. I'd come down, I'd have my breakfast, and it would either be oats, which is like a whole food, or eggs. These 2 foods are just simple, basic foods that are for single ingredient. I'd have these. Then for lunch, for dinner, when I was going to college, I'd have a Tesco's meal deal. I'd have a pizza for tea. And doing this, like, obviously I'm still eating the processed foods. I'm eating the bad foods. But I'm starting to eat the good foods. I'm starting to implement the good foods. And as I implement the good foods, the bad foods start to come out. Is you can't eat both. You can't eat a full diet of good foods and a full diet of bad. You have to have like a a percentage of each one. And over the weeks, it starts with breakfast, then lunch, I'm starting to have chicken and rice. I'm not having the Tesco's meal deal anymore. And with tea, I still have a pizza, but breakfast and lunch are sorted. Then a couple more weeks, I'm having mince for tea. And now my 3 meals are sorted. But I'm still snacking on a bit of chocolate. I don't know, I'm still having a couple of biscuits and whatnot. A bit of Coke, a bit of orange juice. But over time, it transitions, and it's still transitioning now to this day. I'm still implementing more healthy foods, whole foods in my diet, and just killing all the bad ones, killing all the processed ones. But it's not something that happened overnight, and it won't ever happen overnight. It's what we were raised on. It's what we had every day, ketchup with every meal. So it's hard to just stop eating it. So why don't you just eat eggs for this week? Every breakfast, have eggs or have oats, and just have this every breakfast, and then let the rest of your day eat the normal food you wanted to eat. But as the weeks go by, once the eating eggs every day becomes normal, becomes simple, then let's have some chicken and rice for lunch. That will then be a challenge to not have a Tesco's meal deal, have a chicken and rice. Then once that becomes a habit, once it becomes simple again, then let's push ourselves and have the mince for dinner. And slowly after time, you start to make progress. As having those eggs for breakfast, I lost a lot of weight and I started to get leaner. But once I started having 3 meals of whole foods every day, that's when I got in the sick shape. That's when I just saw all the progress happen. And when you see the progress happen, you stick to the diet even more. But that was all for this video. Please like and subscribe down below. I'll see you in the next one.